In this video, we're going to continue our WordPress plugin development tutorial. In the first video, we started working on a plugin. It was a very basic plugin, and today we're going to expand on that plugin with a few more options. So let's get started. Okay, here on our IdeaPro example website, it's ideapro.com/example. In the first video, we created this simple plugin called IdeaPro Example plugin, and we have that plugin installed here. So it's active. On the default post we have here for the site, we've included this shortcode example. And right here we have add shortcode example IdeaPro example function, which is a callback to this function here. And then the content that displays is this here, which we returned. If you didn't watch that first video, I'll link the card here to that first video and also link it into the description of the video. So we're going to continue on. We're going to build an options page, and what I want to turn this function into is a scripts function. So constantly people are adding stuff to their website, whether it's in the header or the footer of the site. Like if you add your website to Google Webmaster Tools, it'll ask you to add a meta tag to the header of the website. If you add that meta tag in the theme editor of WordPress and then you change the themes, you'll lose that meta tag. Same thing if you add something into the footer. If you do that in the appearance editor or in the theme, you're going to lose that if you change themes. So we're going to build an options page to add functions to the footer and the header of the website in this plugin. All right, so we're actually going to leave this alone because this is a shortcode that we can use this content. It's not going to affect anything. We can leave this here. We can add more options to our plugin, which is what we're going to do now. So we want to come down a little bit. And the first thing we want to do is we want to say add action, open parentheses, and we're going to say admin menu. And this next argument here is going to be a callback function. All right, so we're going to say IdeaPro admin menu option, and we'll call it option. All right. I'll take a copy of that function, paste that, open brackets, close brackets, or parentheses, I'm sorry. Okay, so now we've created a admin menu action and we've done a callback here. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to say add menu page, open parentheses and close parentheses. All right, so the first argument in this admin menu page function is basically the title of our admin page or functions page, whichever you want to call it. So we're going to call it header and footer scripts. All right. So this next argument is what's actually going to show up on the WordPress menu on the left-hand side. So we're going to say, let's just call it site scripts. All right. This next argument is going to be what users have access to it. And so we're going to say manage options. Any user that has the ability to manage options. All right. Now this next argument is a slug, and we're going to call it IdeaPro admin menu. All right. And then now this next argument is a callback function of what the settings page is actually going to look like. So we're going to call this IdeaPro scripts page. This next argument is where it lists on the menu on the left-hand side. I'm not going to go into details about that. I usually just pick some random number like 200. What I didn't put in is I skipped one. So the one before, the argument before where it shows up on the menu is actually the image that will show up next to the icon. I mean, next to the name. It's the icon that'll show up next to the name. I'm going to leave it blank, which will give you the little settings cog. There's plenty of options. You can look up WordPress dash icons, and it will give you a list of all the dash icons that are available. I'm just going to leave it blank for right now. So that's done. So now if we save and upload the file, we go to our WordPress admin here, and we click on Dashboard. Now we have this link right here that is Site Scripts. So if we click on that, it's going to give us a blank page. And the reason why is because we've told it this callback function here is going to display the page for setting our settings, but we haven't built that function yet. So it's just going to give us this blank page. So we need to copy this. We'll come down below this. We'll say function, that callback function that we used right here. So Idea Pro Scripts page. Then we'll open those brackets. And so now we can do some HTML in here to put a little bit of information in. So the default WordPress page information, or default WordPress page wrap for the admin, is just called wrap. So we're going to go here and we're going to put in an let's do an H2. And we're going to say update scripts on the header and footer. Okay, so we're going to save that. And we're going to come back here. If we click on Site Scripts, it's going to give us update scripts on header and footer, that H2 that we put in. And we can change that. We can just leave it to update scripts, take out the period. Now it's update scripts. Okay, so now we can build in our form pieces to capture the input that we need to go in for our scripts. All right, so we're going to do a text area. Text area, there we go. Enclosed text area. Then we say class, and the default for WordPress for large text areas is large dash text. So that's going to be one of them. And then we're going to make a second one. And so the first one is going to be header scripts. All right, we're going to say for header scripts. And then we'll copy this. And we're going to say footer scripts. All right, so name footer scripts. You can call these whatever you would like. Name footer scripts. Oops, header scripts. Sorry about that. We'll call them header scripts. All right. So then inside of here is where we're going to display any of the settings that have been previously put in. But what we need to do is we first need to call those options. So we need to say header scripts is equal to get option, and it's going to be header. Let's do inside the database. We're actually going to call it Idea Pro header scripts. And then the second one is a value that you want it to return if it's false. So we're just going to say none. And then we're going to copy this and we're going to say footer scripts. Footer scripts. And we'll add this one here to footer scripts. Okay. So we have those in. Now we can come down here and inside of this text area, we can say print header scripts. And here we can put in, whoops, footer scripts. I am not typing good today at all. There we go. Footer scripts. Okay, and we need to close that PHP tag. All right, so then we need a button to submit it. So you can say input type is equal to submit. Name is equal to submit. Scripts, update. Let's do that. Value is equal to update scripts. And then we're going to use, to style this button, we're going to use a default from WordPress, which is button dash primary. All right. So now we're going to look at what this looks like on the page. So now we have a place for header scripts, footer scripts, which I need to change this label. Footer scripts. Okay. So now we have header scripts, footer scripts. Okay. So now we need to update the options once they submit the page. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in a form method. It's post action, and we're going to leave the action blank. Then down here, we're going to say close the form. Okay. So here, above where we get the options, we're going to put in a if array key exists in the post, and we're going to call this here the submit name. So if array key exists posts, we're going to run this file. All right, and this is going to be simple to update. So we're going to say if submit scripts update is in the post, is in the array, we're going to update option with the value. So post, and we're going to do that twice. So we're going to update the header script, we're going to update the footer script from the name header script and footer script. All right. So now that is all that we need to do to update the options. Update option actually creates a new option if that option doesn't exist. So you don't have to say new option or create option or anything like that. You can literally just say update option and then what you want to call it. WordPress will create that option if it doesn't exist. Okay, so then we're going to close the PHP because we're going to create a div that will pass through, will give a notification that the update's been done. So we're going to say ID is equal to setting error settings updated. Class is equal to, and this is basically for the settings of WordPress, and I just use it because it's already built. Now don't worry, we're not on the settings page, so it's okay. So then the class is going to be updated settings error. Notice is dismissible. Notice is dismissible. All right. So then we're going to create a strong and a close strong. Whoops. It already did it for me. And inside of that, we're going to say settings have been saved. All right, so we've created the page. So let's refresh. Okay, so I've got an error somewhere. Oh, array key exists. There we go. All right, so now we have none and none in our header and footer scripts, and we're going to just put in test and test footer. Update scripts. All right, settings have been saved. So now if we go site scripts, posts, go back to site scripts, our test and our test footer stuff has been saved into those fields. All right, so we're gonna clear that out, update, and if we go back to it, now they're blank because it no longer says none because those options actually exist, they're just blank. And that's what we want right now because we don't want anything to pass through. So now we have the menu option, we have the page that submits that information, which is this here. This is the menu option, this is the page that submits those fields. Now we can add in where the scripts are actually going to show up. So we're going to come down a little bit, and we're going to create a new function, and we're going to call it IdeaPro display, excuse me, we'll do the header first, header scripts. All right, so under this we're going to say add action, and the action is going to be WP_head, and the callback is going to be this function here. So now we're going to get the header scripts from the options, and then simply whenever you're doing a script like this in the header or the footer, when it's a add action WP header, add action WP foot, you literally just want to print header scripts. That's it. So now we're going to go do the same thing. We're going to say function IdeaPro display footer scripts. All right, we're going to add action. We're going to say WP_foot. We're going to call this callback, and then we're going to say get option footer scripts. We're going to copy that down here, and then we're going to say print footer scripts, and we're ready to go. So now what those two functions just did is this header, this add action to the WP head added any scripts that we put inside of this top box to the header of every page on our WordPress website. And then IdeaPro footer scripts using the add action WP foot, I believe that's right. So it is footer. I didn't think that looked right. So it's WP head for the head tags and WP footer for the foot tags. Okay, so now we'll save that. We'll come over here and we're going to say footer scripts. Wow, not footer scripts, header scripts. And this is going to be footer scripts. Update. And then we're going to go here to the IdeaPro example page and look at the source code. View page source. We're going to control find, and we're going to say header scripts, which is right here. So it added it to the head. And then footer scripts. So if we do a search, footer scripts. So here's the footer scripts. So any scripts that you add into these fields are going to show up in the header and the footer of the page. Now what is useful is I use this for Google Analytics. I'll get the Google Analytics code and paste in there, or the Google Tag Manager code and paste in the head. JavaScript, files, jQuery, jQuery UI, anything like that can go into the footer. So hope that helps. In the next video, we'll go into more detail about how to add a sub page to this menu option. most of the time when I'm adding this type of settings, I usually add it under the settings of WordPress so that it keeps the left menu bar here clean for other options like custom post types and things like that. So we'll do another video with the submenu page of our site scripts here, and then we'll do another plugin where it adds a settings, an option in the settings. Okay, hope that helps you. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you in the next one.